Oh,
Good morning, sir.
come,
Good
come,
morning,
Ishita.
sir.
Morning. So, well, you have had a very impressive career, and but after BA, you kind of decided to take up a job,
Yes, sir.
hmm? And then you did not do any formal education. Just you left the job and then started preparing for civil service.
Yes, sir.
So, why did you leave Ernst and Young?
So while my journey at Ernst& Young was very fruitful, I
Hmm.
think it was a great learning experience.
Hmm.
But on evaluating what should be my long-term career option, I felt that I was more inclined to the public sector and civil services in specific. And this made me take this decision.
Okay. So you worked as a risk analyst.
Yes, sir.
Hmm? What is the job of a risk analyst?
Sir, in risk analysis, we look at the supply chains of the various clients of Ernst& Young. They come up with various processes, for example, the production process, the quality checks, the contract management, and we help them in plugging those risks. For example, who is the authority that is approving the transactions? And in plugging those risks, we enable them to garner a lot of savings.
Okay, tell me, let us say that I am in an electronics company, and maybe I am or you are the managing director of that electronics company, and it has the usual business. You can just imagine what are the usual businesses. Now tell me, what are the kind of risks which this company has, which it needs to mitigate? You first just you think of a PowerPoint presentation. The first slide, top 5 points in the first slide. These are the risks for the company.
So, considering the entire supply chain management and the company management of an electronics company, I think we would start with the production risks. That is the access to the raw materials. Since we, as a country, we are dependent on imports of electronics from China mostly.
Okay.
So, in light of the global
So
supply chains.
you just first slide. You just tell me 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So,
So
first,
first is the
the raw materials that
raw
are coming
material risk.
and
Okay.
import dependency.
Okay. Import. I think that is a better word. Import dependency. Then.
So next we will, I will take the 5 points in the PowerPoint would be the 5 points across the supply chain. So first is production. Next would be the procurement methods and for example, what kind of reverse auctioning methods are we using to decide our vendors, the vendor management. So this is the second. Third would
No,
be.
but this is not a risk. This is only a process. What is the risk in it?
Sir, I think the entire monetary
Reverse
aspect.
auction is a process you follow.
So that is some kind of a check that we will see what kind of the procurement methods are over there.
Okay, then.
Next, sir, we will see the quality standards and are they in line with the national standards? Are they in line with the international standards?
Okay.
Next, sir, we will see the sales of that particular product and what is the method of reaching the market, what kind of competitors are there. And sir, lastly, we will also evaluate the marketing strategy.
Well, I won't say all of them qualify as risks. Okay, let us see that I have a huge import dependency. How would you mitigate that risk?
Sir, any kind of concentration of our dependency on particular companies or particular countries should first be diversified. We should identify which are our other
Possible
sources.
suppliers for the supply chain. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Number one. Then.
So number two, we will also see the entire life cycle of our product, and we will estimate in the next 6 months to 1 year. These are our needs, and how
But
can
3 points you have to tell. Okay.
So the second would be that evaluating the life cycle, that over the next 12 months, these are our possible needs. And in case of any exigencies, this is the amount of inventory we should maintain. to keep a continuity. And sir, thirdly, we would also focus on trying to find indigenous suppliers, and so that would be three.
Okay. But let me put it to you and you give me your reaction. You left out a very important risk. I mean, just one I am pointing out, there are
Yes,
many
sir.
others. Was the foreign exchange, variation, volatility risk?
Yes, sir. That is
Because
an
you
important.
do your costing on the basis of some price, and if the foreign exchange, how is that mitigated actually?
So foreign exchange risks and in particular depreciation of the currency can really increase our costs of imports. And sir, this can be mitigated in the short run over the next 6 months to 12 months by managing what is our demand and what is our inventory.
There is a hedging process of foreign currency by which you normally mitigate your risk for shorter periods, 2 years, 3 years. Okay, good. Now tell me, now let us come to the principle of again risk assessment in district administration. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now there is a scheme, Fasal Bima Yojana.
Yes, sir.
There also there is a risk which is being addressed.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me what is the premium which is charged?
So the farmers are required to pay around 1.5% for kharif crops, 2% for rabi crops, and 5% for horticulture products. And the remaining
Okay. No, fine, fair enough. 1 point. Let's just talk a little more on this. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So first thing I would say that why would it be more for rabi crop than for kharif crop?
Sir, I'll read about it. I'm not sure.
It wouldn't be.
Okay.
Actually, it would be more for kharif crops.
Okay, sorry, sir.
Why would it be more for kharif crops?
Sir, I'm not
Okay,
sure.
you are not sure. Okay. Now tell me one more thing, that this is 1.5% is usually a percent of something.
Yes, sir.
So it's a percent of what?
Sir, it is percentage of the risk premium that is being paid.
Percent of the risk premium, but you said this is the premium. Huh?
So there is a risk
Okay.
premium. And
No, this is
okay.
not a percent of risk premium. Okay, this is actually for the sum insured. It is
Okay, sir.
it is percentage of the sum
Sum
insured.
insured.
Okay, so tell me one scheme. Oh, have you heard about Global Gender Gap Index?
Yes, sir.
How is it measured?
Sir, it is, from what I can recall right now, it is measured across a number of parameters like the political representation of women,
Good.
the economic position of women, for example, the labor force participation rate, and the education status of women,
Very good.
along with health, I think.
Yes, and health. That's excellent. Now, can you tell me of some scheme of Government of India which has made a very good impact on the lives of the rural women?
Sir, I think in the presence of self-help groups in India has made a significant impact on the economic empowerment as well as a spillover on the political empowerment of women. And the scheme of SHG bank linkage has helped, that has enabled this.
Okay. So can you just tell me how this scheme works?
So whenever
How the self-help groups are formed?
Yes, sir.
How they are made operational?
So self-help groups are a group of women who belong to a similar socio-economic background, and they come together, and they then use their collective bargaining power for access to credit, and this removes the biggest hurdle or biggest challenge in access to credit, which is the collateral. So their collective presence can enable them to reach out to banks.
There is
and
one process before they actually go to the bank. There is something else
so is
which
it the
the group is
registration?
encouraged to do. That
Oh,
is thrift.
okay, sir.
Thrift. So they first they themselves save and make use of the money,
Okay.
and then they go to the next step where they
Okay.
take the loan. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ishita,
Yes, sir.
I'm very impressed with your biodata, and there's one question which is rolling in my mind all the time. You have done so well in your academics. You have studied in the Sri Ram College of Commerce. What made you decide not to do MA post graduation?
So while I was working at Ernst& Young, I was evaluating what are my possible long-term options.
But that decision is after joining Ernst and Young or before joining Ernst and Young?
Sir, given that it was a period of 2 years, my thoughts were evolving over that time period. What should be my long-term plan? And in the short run, I definitely wanted to explore that opportunity and learn all the great things we have heard about the private sector. So over those 2 years, I evaluated a number of options, and as you pointed out rightly, sir, masters was a very dominant option in my mind. But sir, I felt that given a career decision at this point of time, I think I can try for the civil services examination, and there is no age bar to pursuing a master's degree. So I do look forward to it in the future.
Okay, that's a good one. You are a master's in economy.
So I'm a bachelor.
No, but you are a master's in economy. I've seen that. Matlab. Now, if I ask you, I mean, everyone, and rightly so, talks very, positively about India's economy. And if I ask you one or two major concern points about India's economy, what would they be? And and also analyze it in the context of the budget.
Sir, I think one of the most important concern for India right now is to reap its demographic dividend. Our window of 50 years is ongoing, and this we will be unable
That's
to achieve.
More of a social factor than an economic factor. I was expecting a more economic factor. You're getting my mind?
Yes, sir. So I was coming to the point that it is important to skill our labor force.
That's again, I mean, not from an economist.
Okay, from an economic point of view.
From the economic viewpoint. I hope you got my point. You
Yes,
are
sir.
right there. I'm not saying that
Yes,
you are
sir.
not right there, but I want an economist analysis, and that is why I said also in the context of the recent budget, so that
Okay.
I was
Yes, sir.
ring fencing the time factor.
So I think the recent budget addresses one of the most important concerns, which is also capital expenditure.
It has already addressed it. Acha, capital expenditure.
Yes, sir. It has increased it to 10 lakh crores in this budget, and this can create a
What
virtuous.
is the other concern factor? I still feel that you are missing out the most important concern factor.
So I'll just take a moment to think.
What are the 2-3 major things which are pegged at the beginning of making a budget? And then you go on to the micro. You've done macro, you've done micro.
Yes,
And
sir.
then you move on to the micro side. What are the 2-3 things which are pegged?
So what comes to
Which
my
will
mind-
make how much fund is available with you. I'm also giving you now a very big hint.
So one major determinant is also fiscal deficit.
Exactly. Now you took some time. Now you have come to it. Now
Now the
Now,
master
now,
is
the,
coming.
now, tell me what is your assessment of the assumptions which have been made? Tell me what are the assumptions which have been made in the budget with regard to the fiscal deficit, and tell me how realistic is it?
Sir,
I'm asking you because you are totally an economics
Yes, sir.
person.
So I apologize for the delay.
No, absolutely.
Sir,
And I'll bring you to capital expenditure.
yes, sir. Sir, our fiscal deficit targets have been revised as per the Fiscal Responsibility and Budgetary Management
What is
Act.
the assessment for this year?
So presently it is around 6.2% of GDP.